Solon Decius was an Adeptus Astartes warrior of the Death Guard Legion that honorably fought for the Imperium during the Great Crusade era, but would tragically fall to the forces of chaos during the Horus Heresy. Decius was a member of the 7th Great Company commanded by Battle Captain Nathaniel Garo, and was the youngest member of Captain Garo's command squad. Brother Decius remained loyal to Garo despite the corruption that had begun to creep into the Space Marine legions under the War Master Horus's command in the form of warrior lodges. Since the beginning, Garo expressed his disapproval of the secretive lodges, and as a result, Decius chose not to join the warrior lodge that already existed within the Death Guard when offered membership. During the outset of the Isvan campaign, Garo's 7th Great Company fought in concert with the Emperor's Children Elite 1st Company against the traitorous forces on the world of Isvan Extremis, the outermost planet in the Isvan system. While fighting against a powerful Slaneshi psyker known as the War Singer, Decius' life was saved when Garo pushed the young legionnaire out of the way of its psychic attack, which badly wounded the battle captain. Though gravely injured, Garo continued to fight on, fighting back-to-back amidst the rising tide of enemies until the battle was successfully concluded. As part of Garo's command squad, Decius was fated to be aboard the frigate Eisenstein during the Isvan III atrocity, when his commander took control of the vessel and fled the Isvan system through the warp in an attempt to warn of Horus's betrayal to Terra. En route to the throne world, Decius and a number of his fellow Loyalist Death Guard fought a battle against the reanimated corpses of their former traitorous comrades aboard the vessel, who had become the first Plague Marines of Nurgle, when the Plague God's influence had insinuated itself through the damaged Eisenstein's killer field while the vessel was traveling through the Immaterium. During the battle, Decius was injured when he was stabbed by one of the Plague Marines' plague knives, and in a vain attempt to halt the advance of the supernatural corruption caused by this chaos artifact, he bravely cut off his own arm. The severely wounded Astarte was then taken to the Apothecarion and put under the care of Apothecary Merrick Voyan, but there was no cure available in the entire corpus of Imperial medical science that could ease Decius' suffering. After completing their arduous journey and delivering their message to the Emperor's acting regent, Malcador the Sigillite, Garo and his men were placed under house arrest and held in solitary confinement in the Somnus Citadel on Luna, under the watchful eyes of the Silent Sisterhood. Their fate was yet to be decided. In the meantime, the mortally wounded Decius finally lost his fight to the supernatural disease later known as Nurgle's Rot that was running rampant throughout his rotting flesh. Giving himself over fully to the offer of Nurgle to end his pain, Decius' body was possessed and metamorphosized into a mutated form of the demonic entity known as the Lord of Flies. His twisted body took on a demonic appearance. It possessed an arachnid-like head with numerous eyes and mandibles in place of the mouth, while his decapitated arm grew grotesquely into a great skeletal hand, similar to a power fist. The Lord of Flies proceeded to wreak havoc inside the fortress, killing 2 of his former comrades before Captain Garo strode forth and slew the monstrosity outside the fortress on Luna's barren, airless surface, casting the Lord of Flies' demonic spirit back into the warp from whence it came. Almost 9 standard years later, in the final days of the Horus Heresy, just before the start of the Siege of Terra, the Lord of Flies assaulted the mobile industrial platform known as the Walking City on Terra. The demon appeared as a massive horde of plague flies that infected the people of the Walking City and transformed them into fly-infested zombies. The Knights Errant were sent in to defeat the creature. During the battle, the Lord of Flies used the voice of Solon Decius to goad the leader of the Knights Errant, Nathaniel Garo, promising him that all efforts to stop chaos would be in vain, and offering him a chance to rejoin his fellow Death Guard in service to Nurgle. Decius' voice admitted that he had been consumed by a demon known as the Lord of Flies, and that this was all that was left of him. The Knights Errant succeeded in cleansing the chaos taint from the Walking City, though the Lord of Flies promised he would yet be the death of Garo. Later, a force of chaos cultists struck at the White Mountain, a secret subterranean installation on Terra that was heavily protected against psychic intrusion. The facility was being used to research what had happened to a group of Sisters of Silence who had been captured by the forces of chaos during the heresy and then recovered by Loyalists. In the course of the assault, the Knights Errant under Garo's command once more moved to defend the facility and were attacked by the Lord of Flies. During the battle, the demon revealed that after he had been defeated by Garo upon Luna, it possessed the body of Merrick Voyan, the apothecary of the 70, who had once tried to save Decius upon the Eisenstein after his infection. Voyen had been among the 70 Death Guard Space Marines who remained loyal after the Eisenstein arrived on Terra. The demon laughed as Garl realized that he once again would be forced to kill the body of a man who once had been his friend. Garl destroyed the Voyen host body, but the demon then moved on to possess the battle brother and former world eater, Macer Varen, and had been mortally wounded during the Battle of the White Mountain. Varen assaulted his comrades, but froze when his fellow battle brother, Garviel Loken, confronted him and tried to remind him of his friendship. Varen's soul regained enough control over his own body to grab a belt of grenades from Loken's armor and set them off. Varen chose to destroy himself rather than let the demon continue to control him. Free of the flesh once more, the demon began to hunt for another host, but Malkador the Sigillite finally entered the battle upon the White Mountain slopes and unleashed his full psychic might against the creature, blasting it to ashes. However, the Sigillite had warned the chapter that, like all demons, the Lord of Flies would not be completely destroyed while in real space, and would reform within the warp. The Lord of Flies would continue to plague the Imperium, and the memory of Solon Decius as his first victim would go down in the Inquisition's demonic history. And those were 40 facts on Solon Decius. This was Gershwan with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose.